I put every Tekken 8 character in a bracket, set their CPU difficulty to ultra hard, and made them body slam each other to find out who is the strongest CPU in Tekken 8. The first match was Kazuya versus Brian. Not only are these two fighting each other, they're also fighting the ground. Sidekick backhand from Brian, and Kazuya turns on the invincibility cheat codes. The final round was incredibly close, but Brian left with a W. Asuka versus Steve. Steve goes in for the toe punch, activating Asuka's foot-based trap card. The trained boxer then delivers a three-piece combo to a literal child. Steve starts the second round strong, but fumbles the heat activation. Asuka gets him down to a mere sliver of health before rearranging his midsection. The final round begins with a flying elbow to Steve's head. Asuka is dominating when Steve pulls out the super duper and it connects. Asuka blocks low, but Steve doesn't care at all. Steve advances to the next round. Zafina versus Azucena. Azucena starts with a slap before a mutual toe stubbing. Zafina earns her title as the Queen of Kicks before giving Azucena a chiropractic adjustment. Zafina continues her dominance in the second round and somehow ended the fight in slow motion. She advances to the next round. Dragunov versus Elisa. Dragunov lands the jump kick before getting carved up like a turkey at Thanksgiving. Elisa knocks him up and fires a full-on rocket. Good gravy. Round 1, Elisa. Robot Girl starts with a simple but effective combo while Dragunov kinda stumbles around the arena in Russian. More robot surgery and then she launches the super. Elisa advances. Jin versus Hwoarang. This fight starts with a brutal knee kick from Hwoarang before he delivers the weirdest 180-degree full-body turn heel slam. Jin tries to counter with some punches, but Hwoarang is intent on making Korea proud. Round 2 starts with a mutual punch followed by tornado kicks. Jin gets very lucky with hitboxes, gives Hwoarang the first boot and then the second. If you thought Hwoarang was just gonna take it, you've never played Tekken before. Jin takes an impromptu nap and Hwoarang advances. Leo versus Lily. Lily starts off with the princess stomp and Leo counters with the belly punch. They seem pretty evenly matched by the time Leo takes the first round. Leo gets the first lick in, but not too many after that. Lily is searching for a W, and that's what she finds. Leo gets an early lead in the final round despite Lily's attempts to block. However, they whittle each other down to super territory and the heiress comes out on top. Lily advances. Leroy versus Yoshimitsu. Leroy goes in immediately, Wing Chun all over the place. Yoshimitsu tried to fly away from the arena, but Leroy was having none of it. I didn't think it could get sillier after the first round, but I don't even know what to say for the second. I don't think Yoshimitsu realizes that Tekken 8 has released and he's supposed to be fighting now. Leroy advances to the next round. Law versus Claudio. Claudio blocks Law's attacks until the nunchucks come out. But then the nunchucks go away again and Claudio goes ham on Law. In the second round, Law misses, fumbles the heat gauge, eats a shoulder charge, and gets KO'd by a fadeaway. Honestly impressive, Claudio. He advances to the next round. Paul versus Lars. Paul blocks some dramatic flips from Lars and then turns his fist into a wind tunnel. Lars stays low to the ground, bobbing and weaving like a chimpanzee. A flying front kick from Paul starts the second round, and these two refuse to do combos. I don't know why. Please don't ask. Lars takes the second round and wins the match. Devil Jin versus Jack 8. Devil Jin brings it to Jack 8's forehead, and the robot loses it entirely. Devil Jin can barely stand up again before the round is over. Jack 8 comes out swinging and ends up with mutually assured destruction. Devil Jin gives it his best shot, but unfortunately he's fighting 3,000 pounds of destruction wearing a mohawk. King versus Reina. King opens the match with raw animal fury, a power that can only be matched by the sheer ferocity of a female high school student. Reina takes the first round. King tries again and gets Reina to half health before forgetting how to block completely. His attempts to shake her off are completely futile and Reina takes the game. Rip King. June versus Panda. If you've never seen someone fight a panda, this is about to look insane. June does her best here, but the panda keeps rolling and smacking, and it's a panda for real. June gets a little more aggressive in the second round, but Panda will not give her any space. June lands a throw, but Panda lands a KO. Lee versus Victor. Lee dodges a kick and immediately takes another one. Victor walks with a light step and an open palm. Lee searches for an opening, but the Frenchman is a fortress. In the second round, Lee erases 70% of Victor's health bar in under 5 seconds. We're going to round 3, boys. It's a slow journey to victory, with each player whittling down their opponent's resolve. Lee baits Victor with a taunt, and the rest is history. Lee advances to the next match. Kuma versus Shaheen. Kuma is unlike any character in this game because he's a bear, but he's also a legendary fighter. Shaheen realizes this all too late for the first round. I don't know why I said the first round. The same thing happens again in the second, except Kuma almost gets a perfect round. Sorry, Shaheen, but a bear just destroyed you. Fang versus Raven. Raven opens up on Fang with his patented ninja kicks, which are sneakier than normal kicks. But just as it seems that Raven has completely learned Fang's style, he makes a crucial mistake. He gets kicked in the head. Fang tosses him into the second round. This time, Fang is on the offensive, and the man is bugging. Raven only manages a few hits before taking the ultimate L to heaven. Fang advances. Zhao Yu versus Nina. I like both of these characters, but their fists don't like each other. Nina tries to keep Zhao Yu at leg's length, but forgets that Zhao Yu also has 2 legs, and arms and stuff, but the leg is what ends the round. Zhao Yu instantly activates heat, but Nina sends her into a 30-minute throw animation. It's still going? Stop letting her throw you, dude. We got like 10 more matches after this. Nina sneaks in a backhand, and we go to round 3. The third round is non-stop heat attacks, and a sidekick from Nina seals the match. Ah! Sorry for the ball guy jump scare. We just finished the first half of the tournament. I wanted to give you a chance to just take it all in. I would never have guessed how some of these matches turned out. Like, Jin and Kazuya are both gone already. Insane. Let me know in the comments how your favorite character is doing, because, wow, dude, there's a 50% chance they just got dumpstered. All right, let's start the next set of matches. Brian versus Steve. Steve cranks his fist up to 11, and Brian can't count that high. Heat can't save Brian from losing the first round. Brian goes crazy with the Fists of Fury, but you can't punch or grab. Another super? Steve is the super king, my god. I can't believe it. Brian is out of there. Well played, Steven. Zafina versus Alisa. It's the Queen of Kicks versus the Supersonic Bionic, and Alisa is getting dunked on. Zafina is chilling through the first round. Second round, Alisa is throwing every invention from the past century, hoping something will knock Zafina unconscious, but she still ends up with a battery-powered L. Was that the worm? Absolutely savage. Hwoarang versus Lily. Hwoarang has the flexibility, but Lily has infinite money. Put that leg away, sir. It's close, but Lily takes round 1. Round 2 is more fast-paced kicks, more elegant slaps. Hwoarang unlocks the heat and misses every attack. Another whiff combo and Lily supers.
It's time to dance.
And the 360 spin smack to end it. What a game. Lily advances. Leroy versus Claudio. Claudio begins with some fancy moves, and it looks like Leroy is not in the zone. Or at least that's what he wants you to think. You get him to half health and he'll unlock his full power. Surprise, buddy, it's Tekken time, and Leroy is the Wing Chun master. Round 2. Oh, that's cute, Claudio. Those are some nice moves, man. But whoops, you got him to half health again. Brother, you gotta stop doing that. Leroy advances. Lars versus Jack 8. Both competitors look confident, or at least the robotic equivalent, and for a few seconds it's hard to know which way this match is going. But then Jack 8 turns on his combat analysis systems and reads Lars like a book. Lars temporarily EMPs Jack 8's system at the start of the round, which is technically allowed in Tekken tournaments as long as there's at least one panda present, but once it wears off, Jack 8 advances to the next round. Reina versus Panda. Reina puts on a brave front, but getting slapped by a panda would phase anybody. She recovers and uses an impressive heat move to stabilize. Unfortunately, Panda has developed a signature move, the Panda Scoop. Its fatality rate is near 100%. The second round starts off much better for Reina, and she manages to get Panda to half health before the scoop makes its return. Panda jumps in, does a hind leg stretch, and ultimately booty bumps Reina out of the tournament. Panda terrifies me. Lee versus Kuma. Kuma sends Lee to meet the sun, so Lee does the same thing to Kuma. Can we please acknowledge that Kuma has literally 1 health left here? If Lee sneezes on him, it's over. But Kuma is fearless. He's jumping right in there to, oh, he punched his balls. I don't even know what to say. That was heinous behavior from Lee. I thought there were rules to this game. Alright, the second round. Kuma is once again in danger, but so is Lee. Oh my god, what an ending. Sometimes I have to stop and realize what I'm even looking at. A 49-year-old man is using karate to fight a bear wearing a bandana and a leather jacket. He also punched the bear in the balls. Honestly, I don't know if I'm comfortable with any of this. Fang versus Nina. Nina gives Fang the ultimate back crack and then gives him the ultimate arm crack. I'm starting to think he paid her to do this. At least I did believe that until he started acting crazier than Panda. Round 1 to Fang. In the second round, he actually dodges a grab from Nina and starts breakdancing. Nina tries to use some fancy footwork to get the better of him, but Fang is a monster. Congratulations, Fang. You're in the top 8. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. This is your top 8. We've got Steve and Zafina, Lily and Leroy, Jack 8 and Panda, and Kuma and Fang. If your favorite fighter is still in the tournament, go ahead and like the video. And if they're not, still like the video, but just be a little sad about it. Okay, quarterfinals, here we go. Steve versus Zafina. Steve is the punch god, Zafina is the kick queen. But Steve was doing more punching than Zafina was kicking, so he takes the first round. Zafina was popping off in the second round, and Steve was done. I mean, it was over. But then he blasted that super duper. And it was game. Steve makes it to top 4. Lily versus Leroy. Lily gets the first hit, but Leroy has been relentless in every match, and the Lily CPU was not ready. Round 1 goes to Leroy. Round 2 seems like it's going to repeat history. Lily gets the first hit, and Leroy goes crazy. But she snipes him with a kick, and we go to round 3. Would you believe me if I said it played out the exact same way again? Except this time, Leroy finished it. He goes to top 4. Jack 8 versus Panda. Jack 8 and Panda are 2 of the biggest characters in the game, and watching them interact is incredibly weird. Jack 8 takes a beating, but manages to study Panda's patterns and catches her off guard with his crazy robot arms. He avoids the booty bump and takes the first round. Round 2 is a completely different story. Jack 8 must have malfunctioned because Panda was giving him the business and he did absolutely nothing. I think Panda got in his head for real because he was way more passive in these rounds and she was still a crazy panda. She goes to top 4. Kuma versus Fang. Fang and Kuma are an interesting matchup because one fights like a bear and one is a bear. They both go for straight jabs, and as far as I can tell, neither of them ever even tried to kick the other one. Kuma takes round 1. Kuma keeps the heat up in round 2, and it's looking spooky until Fang goes super duper. Unfortunately, Kuma has way more health and instantly destroys him afterwards. The bear moves on to top 4. I know, I'm still bald. Top 4, Steve versus Leroy and Panda versus Kuma. Would you have ever guessed that one of those characters is the strongest in the game? If I'm keeping it real, I love Kuma, so that doesn't surprise me at all. But you're probably like, what the f***? Anyways, semifinals, let's do it. Steve versus Leroy. Leroy opens up on Steve with the 10-piece Wing Chun special and a big diss to England. Steve responds with the heat slap and a few running punches. Steve gets a good knock-up on Leroy and tags his pinky for the win. An enraged Leroy throws Steve into the air, gets his legs involved, 100 more punches, and a hook kick while Steve is exposed. In the final round, Steve can't keep up with Leroy's constant legwork. The Super King is dethroned, and Leroy enters the finals. Panda versus Kuma! Panda versus Kuma is an incredible battle because I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a couple in the game. Tekken is so weird, man. Kuma gets put into super territory very quickly, but is able to stabilize and start blocking Panda's attacks. Both of them enter critically low health. Panda swipes, Kuma blocks, and gets the last hit. Round 2 is another Kuma slugfest, but this time he doesn't seem to be able to recover. A few more hits and he's down. Round 3 is more similar to round 1, with both getting a few hits in before entering super territory. Panda gets a knock up on Kuma and the game is hers. It's the finals, baby. Leroy versus Panda. A real, actual panda. That's crazy. We're going best 2 out of 3 for the finals, so 2 games, 4 rounds total to get the win. What do you think's gonna win? Panda or Leroy? You better take your bets now, because we're going straight into the finals, baby. Leroy versus Panda. Panda starts in on Leroy and she is hungry for the win. He gets knocked down to super territory before running back in with the turbo punches. Panda sets up the Panda Scoop and takes round 1. In the second round, they trade a few blows back to back, but neither seem willing to commit to anything substantial. Leroy finds himself at low health and Panda blocks his desperate fists, taking the first game. The second game starts with a failed grab from Panda, but no punish from Leroy as the heat move comes out. Leroy is down bad, but he gets Panda into the corner and lays down combo after combo. They're both low health when Leroy goes super duper. Round 1 goes to Leroy. Panda is furious after the last round and hits Leroy with everything she's got. He can't go any lower when something awakens inside him. He goes berserk, taking Panda from 75% health to 10% in a matter of seconds. Panda whiffs a claw attack and Leroy goes slow-mo twice to end the match. Panda gets sturdy and Leroy can't stagger her. Panda lets her guard down and the Wing Chun punishes it instantly. She goes for a few quick hits, but Leroy gets a grab and ends the first round. One more win and Leroy takes it. In the second round, Panda throws a kick before leaving herself exposed with a roll. She tries to recover with heat, but Leroy is too fast for her. Panda manages to find an opening and knocks Leroy below half health. Another 2 swipes and they're both in super territory. Panda goes for another roll, but Leroy knocks her into the sky, and ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. Leroy is the greatest CPU character in Tekken 8. What an amazing tournament. Incredible plays from all of the computer players. And Leroy Smith is our robot champion. Okay, thanks for watching. Subscribe. Bye-bye.